Because really what you need to do when you're in the first half of marriage is have a future focus of what you want your marriage to look like in the second half, to really think about what do we want to look like as a couple in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then do the work now to make that happen.
Great hearing from Dr. Chapman again, such a great teacher on marriage insights. And thanks for joining us, everyone. And also, we are joined by our kitchen couples in their own kitchens.
Right.
This is a great setup here. We've got Mike and Diane. We've got Eric and Kara. We've got Dan and Danielle. And so, yeah, and I've got my mug, a Better Us mug.
All right. Now, of all of us here, there's two of us kitchen couples who are actually in the second half of marriage, right? There's two of us, Mike and Diane, and Ron and myself. I know we've been married 36 years. Mike and Diane, how long have you guys been married?
28.
28
Wow.
years. Now, I think the youngins that are here with us, they're not in the second half of marriage, but they've got a lot they can learn from us and our mistakes and the things that we think that we can pass on to them. What do you guys think?
We're all ears. We're ready to listen.
Well, I think the very first thing is you don't go through marriage, you grow through marriage, right? So as we continue on this pace, right, we kind of have a lot of stuff happen. And at this point, a lot of garbage can build up. And if we haven't been working through those things, if we haven't been growing through it, right, there certainly can be a time where your relationship just becomes stale. We recently, as he was talking about doing things and going back, we have had 6 places that we've lived in Toronto. And so we went through doing, everything was slow at the pandemic. I think it was one of the first days she kind of went out and actually got in the car. But we kind of just drove through all of the 6 places. We drove by every house that we have lived in since we've been here and just kind of reminisce a little bit, doing those kind of things to re-engage ourselves. But for me, the real thing is to remember, we don't just go through this, right? We grow through it. We continue to learn, adapt. And when we talk about the love languages, sometimes by this time in marriage, those languages are modified a bit. So we have to check in and make sure that we know and we're doing the right things still.
And I would say to make sure you give your spouse the right to complain without paying a price. Right? Because a lot of times, as we grow, we have to be careful as we were talking about earlier, how we communicate and how we say things to one another. And I think that's a really good quote because it can touch every single one of us. And it's important that we pay attention to those things and make sure that we listen again to our spouse or significant other.
That's good.
She's so smart.
So what you young ones, we want to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think about this whole second half of marriage?
Which young ones? Are we still in the young category?
We're not the young ones, technically.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
We're younger. Young is relative, and I feel young. So I was going to say, I liked where he's talking about kind of doing things new and keeping them fresh, kind of reinventing your marriage. I was thinking maybe a silly example, but I was thinking of how celebrities and artists and musicians and actors kind of like reinvent themselves, those who have a long career. Because like I was thinking of Tom Cruise, long career, awesome, a great actor. Every movie, his hair is a little different. Like every Mission Impossible, his hair is a little different. The first hair, he's kind of got the buzz cut. The first movie, the second Mission Impossible, he's got the long flowy hair. And so you're like, it's Tom Cruise. I knew what to expect. But who's this dashing young fellow? It's got that little bit of mystery to it. He just reinvents himself as he goes. He keeps what's awesome and he changes his hair. So it could be that simple little thing in your marriage. You keep what's awesome, and I don't know if you're kind of like your hair is awesome. It's always been the same, but maybe it's not your hair, but it's something. You're doing something fresh. You're changing it up.
So this is interesting because now I know he's looking at hair when we're watching a movie. Normally I watch everything like that and miss the content, and he gets me in trouble. Now I know.
He hates the bald actors. It's just like not even worth watching that movie.
I'm only watching Tom Cruise's hair.
He's watched a lot of Tom Cruise, apparently.
Yeah.
I loved that he said that marriage is a covenant, not just a contract. It is a commitment between us two, but also a triangle. This way, God is involved. And, you know, so many of us out in the world, and you see it in movies, I'm sure Tom Cruise has said it, that we think that marriage is all about, you know, until what we get or what we want ends. But really, it's not about receiving love. It's about a commitment to continually grow and show and give love over and over again. And you know, no matter what's hitting your life, a pandemic or anything like that, you're in it for the long haul, not just you two, but with the Lord. Yeah.
And I took away like what's your mindset at. Like he was talking about thriving, so I was like, are we thriving or are we surviving? And if we want the longevity, we want to be thriving, not just surviving. Like this isn't supposed to be like boring or whatever. We're supposed to thrive in marriage. And so I thought about that. And I also thought about the mindset of covenant over contract. And so it's just like, where are you? Where's your mindset? You want to hit the long-term goal. And so how do you do that?
Kara, I love that, because really what you need to do when you're in the first half of marriage is have a future focus of what you want your marriage to look like in the second half, to really think about what do we want to look like as a couple in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then do the work now to make that happen. And that's really the bottom line, and have a future focus.
It is worth the effort. Believe us and everyone else that puts the effort into it. And Dr. Chapman, he's a pretty good one to listen to too.
Absolutely.
So this has been great. Thanks everyone for your input, and there's more A Better Us coming up.
Stay with us.
That really hurt me. And so sometimes we're honest and raw in that way, but how we respond, our respond ability, I think really is the key to the maturity of our relationship and our happiness.